Bike of the Year 2018 is finished. We've rounded up all the bikes, we've tested them all, and the winners in the 3 different price categories are in. Now, in the over £2,000 category, our winner is Trek Émonda SL 6 Pro. Trek made plenty of headlines last year with the launch of the new Émonda. The SLR frame in its lightest rim brake guise weighs just 640 grams. And if you switch up to the disc version of the SLR frame set, that only adds 25 grams to that frame set weight. All pretty impressive stuff. Now, to get an SLR frame, you need to be spending at least £4,000 on a bike. So that didn't really fit into this category. So we've opted for the second tier model, the SL. Again, this is a super light frame set. You've got a fork that weighs just over 300 grams, and the actual frame itself hits bang on around the kilo mark. A couple of years ago, that would have been pro level light. And this bike complete isn't exactly a porker in any way, shape or form. Interestingly, for 2018, the SL6 comes in 2 guises. There's a standard SL6 and then there's this Pro version. Now, we opted for this, even though it's a £600 upcharge, because in with that, they include the Aeolus 3 Pro wheel set. It's a £1,200 wheel set for £600 more. Just seemed like a no-brainer to us. In fact, these wheels are exactly the same design and they use the same moulds as Bontrager's top-end Aeolus 3 wheels. But in this slightly cheaper guise, it uses a slightly lesser carbon, adds about 100 grams overall to the weight, which is very little when we're actually dealing with quite a light wheel set anyway, and it just makes such a fine addition to this bike. With the SL6 Pro, what that all adds up to when you take into account this 1500 gram wheel set, the full Ultegra it's got, apart from Bontrager's own speed stop brakes, and some really nice Bontrager finishing kit, is an all-up weight for a size 58 of just under 7.5 kilos. Pretty impressive stuff for a bike at this price. The SL6 conforms to Trek's H2 fit. That's bang in the middle of between pro level slammed and kind of relaxed, more endurance biased riding. We find that H2 fit is pretty much spot on for most people. It gives you the ability to get down low enough, but without getting into that kind of back braking, super slammed kind of pro look. It's a really nice compromise and actually suits the Émonda's ride character really well. Trek's current lineup, you know, they've kind of hit every single mark at a really high grade. You've got the Domani for its super comfort, that, you know, incredible compliance that it gives. You've got the Modone for the, you know, it's flat out aero performance, but tempered with a level of comfort rarely seen on aero bikes. And then you've got the Émonda, which has always been the light bike, has always been the stiffest in the range, has always pretty much been the hardest riding. But on this one, that hard riding feel is still there, but it's hard without ever being harsh, and it just makes for such a great all-rounder. And where previous generations of the Émonda, especially equipped with speed stop brake, we've kind of felt a little bit tempered when going back downhill, not having quite the confidence in the brakes that we should have. But it's great to see on the 2018 model, not only has the Émonda gone direct mount for the front and rear brakes, but seems to make those speed stops, gives them that little bit more solidity, that little bit less in the vibration stakes. They've also upgraded the brake pads finally. They've gone to a really nice soft compound Swiss stop pad, and even more importantly for the end user, they do supply a pretty comprehensive setup guide to those speed stop brakes, which do look mad. They are very different, and they do require a little bit more fettling to get the best out of them. But once you do, like us, you'll be really impressed. The general ride character of the Émonda, it does remain a bit like the previous generation, where it does feel firm with like impeccable power transfer. But where it really scores over previous generations of the Émonda is that firmness never translates into harshness. It's actually quite almost a compliant bike. It still has quite a hard edge, but it never encroaches too much into, you know, kind of getting buzzed through your hands, or, you know, getting pains in your lower back, etc. And the fact that it can do this without resorting to like a high-end carbon bar or any kind of other tricks, it's just the dynamics of this frame and the way it's been put together. It really is a great race-orientated bike. What this all adds up to is that the SL6 Pro is just a damn fine road bike. If you're not quite sold on discs just yet, then you'd be hard pushed to find a rim brake bike that offers this good level of equipment for the money. At £2,850 with a really high grade set of carbon wheels, full Ultegra, that's really impressive stuff. Not even the likes of Canyon can put together a bike with wheels this good at under the £3,000 mark. So if you thought 2018 was the beginning of the end for the humble rim brake, then you'd be very, very much mistaken. When you've got bikes as good as this, or Specialized new Tarmac, or the ever popular and ever wonderful Cannondale Super 6 Evo, and of course not forgetting the giant TCR Advance 2 that we've just awarded Bike of the Year, then you could almost say maybe the rim brake's having a bit of a renaissance. So if you're in the market for a bike at this price, then the SL6 Pro just has so much going for it. It is great value. You've got some wonderful kit choices on here. The firm ride is tempered with a wonderful, wonderful balanced feel of smoothness, and that balance translates into the handling. It's quick without being snappy, and you just get this wonderful sense of just a beautifully balanced bike. It just covers the ground so rapidly and so confidently, it just inspires confidence in you.